Why are there not more people talking about the eerie beauty of foggy forests? Welcome to my channel, and please do like and subscribe. The forest loomed large, cloaked in an unnatural fog. Each step crunched with fallen leaves, the only sound besides their nervous laughter. Sarah, Mark, Emily and Jake had been friends since childhood. Now they were on a dare. Spend a night in the woods telling ghost stories.
A shiver ran down Sarah's spine. The air grew colder, damp against her skin. She hugged her jacket tighter. The woods had that effect, turning playful shivers into something more real.
Remember Old Man Hemlock?
The one who lived in these woods? Emily squeaked, clinging to Jake's arm.
Mark chuckled, shining his flashlight through the thick trees. They say his ghost still wanders, looking for his lost treasure.
The deeper they ventured, the denser the fog became. It swirled around their ankles, cold and damp. A whisper, barely audible, broke the silence.
"Did you hear that?" Sarah asked, her voice barely a whisper.
The others stopped, listening. The whisper came again, a soft sigh carried on the wind. It seemed to come from deeper in the woods, beckoning them forward.
It's probably just the wind, Mark said, though his voice lacked conviction.
They continued on, their pace quickening. The whispers grew louder, surrounding them. They were no longer soft sighs, but distinct murmurs, voices speaking their names.
"This way," Sarah whispered, drawn towards a darker part of the woods.
The fog parted slightly, revealing the silhouette of a dilapidated cabin. It stood like a spectre, dark and brooding. They had reached their destination, Hemlock Cabin. The cabin door creaked open, revealing a dusty interior. Cobwebs hung from every corner, and the air was thick with the smell of decay. A single window cast an eerie glow on the faded furniture.
"Creepy," Emily whispered, her voice trembling.
On the mantelpiece, a collection of old photographs gathered dust. Faces stared back at them, their eyes hollow and haunting. Sarah picked up a journal, its leather cover cracked and worn. The pages were filled with faded ink, the handwriting erratic.
It's Hemlock's journal, Mark breathed, peering over Sarah's shoulder.
She began to read aloud. The words spoke of strange disappearances, of whispers in the night, of a darkness that consumed all who dared to enter the woods.
Sarah slammed the journal shut, a shiver running down her spine.
The room felt colder, the air heavy with unseen eyes. The whispers had grown louder, swirling around them like a vortex of tormented souls. Suddenly the cabin door slammed shut with a resounding boom. Panic seized them.
They rattled the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. The windows were nailed shut, offering no escape.
"We're trapped!" Emily cried, her voice high-pitched with fear.
The whispers surrounded them, louder now, angrier. They pressed their ears against the walls, desperate for a sign of the outside world. But the only sound was the beating of their own hearts, and the chilling whispers that seemed to seep from the very walls of the cabin.
Mark pulled out his phone, but there was no signal. They were cut off, alone in the darkness with whatever haunted the woods.
"We need to find another way out," Sarah said, her voice firm despite the tremor in her chest.
They agreed to split up and search for an escape route. Sarah and Mark took one side of the cabin while Emily and Jake took the other. The whispers followed them, growing louder the further they ventured. Shadows danced at the edge of their vision, twisting into grotesque shapes. The air grew colder, biting at exposed skin. Sarah saw a fleeting image of a man, his face gaunt, his eyes filled with despair. He reached out to her, his hand passing through hers like a cold mist. Meanwhile, Emily and Jake stumbled upon a hidden room. The walls were adorned with strange symbols, glowing faintly in the darkness. A wave of dizziness washed over Emily. She saw a vision of herself trapped within the cabin, her eyes filled with the same despair as the man in Sarah's vision. The whispers intensified, pulling at them, urging them deeper into the darkness. Sarah and Mark raced back to the main room, drawn by Emily's terrified scream. They found Jake and Emily standing frozen, their eyes glazed over, repeating the whispers in monotone voices. A cold wind swept through the cabin. The air shimmered, and a figure solidified before them. It was a young woman, her form translucent, her eyes filled with a profound sadness. She spoke, her voice a mournful echo, explaining how she had become trapped within the cabin's dark energy, forced to relive her final moments. She could only be freed if someone took her place. The whispers reached a fever pitch, swirling around Sarah. She felt a pull towards the ghostly figure, a sense of destiny settling over her. Mark reached for her, but it was too late. Sarah's vision blurred, the whispers filling her ears, the ghostly woman's sadness seeping into her soul. She was chosen, the next soul to be bound to Hemlock Cabin, her laughter forever echoing in the whispers of the wind.